Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video, I'm going to be doing an acrylic design using some of these glitter pips. I've had these in my nail art drawer for absolutely ages and I've just never got around to using them. So I thought I would pop them in an easy-ish kind of design because they are a little bit fiddly to do. But anyway, I hope they give you some inspiration if you have them sitting in your nail art drawer. And I hope you all enjoy watching today's video. So jumping straight in, I'm going to be using the WowBao acrylic system today, and I'm also using my WowBao size 12 acrylic brush here. So I've come in with one of their core colours. This one is called Crown Peach. So I've come in with that at the cuticle area. As you can see, I've tapped it up into place at the cuticle, making sure to get a nice neat cuticle line, and I'm just trying to get it as flush and as neat as I can with my brush. Then I'm just pulling that colour down the nail. Now this is going to be a full colour of the crown, of the Crown Peach, but I don't want to build up too much thickness because I'm going to place those glitter sequins on the top and then they're going to need to be encapsulated. But I didn't want it to be like a wash of colour. I still wanted to make sure that you could see the full opaqueness of the Crown Peach. So I have built it up ever so slightly. So here I'm coming in with my next bead, and as these nails are quite long, I'm just working my way down until the nail is fully covered. My ratio was a little bit off in this particular set. I think I was just working ever so slightly too wet. I haven't done loads of sets with the WowBao acrylic system, and lately I have been flicking between a couple of different acrylic brands. So yeah, my ratio was just a little bit off, but you can kind of see it here. The beads of acrylic, sorry, are just a little bit too wet. But anyway, once I had got my full layer of the Crown Peach down, I'm going to come in and add my glitter sequins. So I wanted to do a flower shape with them. So I've begun by placing down a little glitter dot, and then I'm picking up the glitter pips and I'm using a teal green colour and an iridescent blue. And I'm just going to create a little flower shape, placing these down on the nail. Now the Crown Peach acrylic that we placed underneath is still tacky, so I'm just using my wet brush to place the glitter pieces down, and then I'm just pressing them into that tacky layer of acrylic. You'll see also I keep wiping my brush over the acrylic before I place down my piece of glitter. This just makes it that little bit more tacky so that it's going to hold that glitter pip in place, and then obviously you are going to encapsulate. If you found that your acrylic underneath had already fully set, you can put a small or a thin wash of clear acrylic down just to hold those glitter pips in place. Now this particular one here does come slightly off the nail, and I just filed off that excess piece before encapsulating. Now, once I was happy with how these were all placed, I could have come in at this point and fully encapsulated this nail, but I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to add any other glitter to it, because at this point I wasn't sure what I was going to do on the other nails. So I just popped a wash of clear acrylic down just to hold those glitter pieces down fully until I decided what I was going to do. But if you knew you were just popping them down, you could come in at this point and fully encapsulate. I've then moved on to the pointer finger, and I'm doing a full now of this gorgeous blue colour. This is another WowBao one. I believe this one is called Forget Me Not, but I will double check and leave all of the products I've used listed in the description box below. So I've come in, I've placed my cuticle bead down, tapping it up into place, and then I'm just pulling that colour down the nail. Now with the WowBao colours, they are design powders, so they need to be encapsulated. You can't build up your strength or your structure with them, so that's why I'm just painting this color on. And as you can see, it's a really pretty pastel blue color. Again, because the nails are quite long, I'm working in quite wet beads of acrylic just so I can get a full thin layer down on the nail. I don't want to build up too much thickness, so that's why I'm just working in quite small beads. I did feel up at that natural nail bed area it looked a little bit patchy and uneven, so I just come in with another bead just to fix this up. Like I said, I was working a little bit too wet with my acrylic, which does affect the pigmentation. And then once again, whilst that acrylic is still tacky, I'm going to place down my glitter pips and create a little half flower shape here down at the cuticle area. So I'm just placing them down exactly the same as before. Now, I have seen some seriously amazing designs done with these little glitter pip sequins, but a lot of them, they look like they could be quite time consuming. So for today's video, I thought I would just keep it simple. I did love using them, but it was kind of a bit like crystal placements. It had a pretty end result, but it took a little while to get there. And this was my first time using them as well. I'm going to use them again on this nail, but to begin with, I'm going to create an ombre. So I'm coming in with this stunning colour from WowBao. This is one of my absolute favourites. I think it's called Paradise. I need to double check. I'm not at my nail desk, but I do believe it's called Paradise. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It's, as you can see, it's like a nice Tiffany teal kind of colour. So I'm just placing this down at the free edge of the nail and I've blended it back. The video did cut out there as the postman knocked at my door, so I had to pause recording, but I just come in and applied another bead at the very tip of the nail just to make sure that that was opaque, and I've made sure, like I said, that the back of that teal colour has blended out so there's not a too harsh line. I did allow the teal acrylic a minute to set before coming in with my crown peach, and I've placed a medium wet bead down right at the blend area, and then I'm just pulling that down to start creating my ombre and my fade. I like to do the first bead quite wet and then come in with a more medium consistency bead at the cuticle area. I just personally find this a little bit easier whenever I'm doing an ombre. So with my second bead of acrylic, I'm tapping that up into place at the cuticle, making sure to get a nice neat cuticle area, and then I'm leaving the bulk of the product where I've placed it down. And I'm using this bead more to cover that natural nail bed area rather than creating the fade, because I created the fade with my first bead of acrylic. I then come in with another bead just to perfect that natural nail bed area and again to perfect the blend. So as you can see, I tap that out side to side and then just gently pull the top of it over the previous bead of acrylic so it starts fading out down over that teal. And as you can see, I'm constantly going over it with my brush just to make sure that acrylic blends out nicely. Now I'm coming back in with those little glitter pips. Now at this point the teal acrylic had set a little bit, so this was a little bit trickier to do, but you will see again I'm just using the same principle as before and using my wet brush and running it over the acrylic just so that they hold in place enough until I encapsulate them, and I'm sort of pressing them down with a little bit of pressure just to stick into that acrylic. So what I decided to do is I was just going to do the glitter pips over the teal part of the nail. So I'm coming in with the teal ones to begin with in a straight line down the center of the nail, and then I'm going to use the iridescent blue ones either side. I kind of opted to do it this rather than do a full nail of them because I thought a full nail would take a long time. But I have seen some gorgeous nails where there's a full nail of these glitter pips and it kind of goes in a rainbow. And I do really want to give that a try. But one of the ways I see someone suggest it with something similar, which I thought I would give it a go, was to place a layer of builder gel or a layer of top coat down on the acrylic as you're applying them and then encapsulate them in acrylic. So I'm going to have a couple of plays around and see what I come up with, and I'll probably do another video on that on my channel sometime in the future. But for now, I found these quite fiddly and time consuming to do, so I'm not sure if they'll be popping up in too many recent sets. So like I said, as this is quite time consuming, I have sped it up so the video is not super long or super boring, but I hope you are enjoying watching. I also just wanted to take a moment to say I hope you're all keeping safe and well and doing okay. I know lots of my nail tech friends are back at work doing clients, and it's really lovely seeing all of the sets of nails being produced. It's really lovely as well to know that we're slowly going back to a bit of normality. It was nice to pop to shops the other day and it be a few different shops than just the essentials. So I hope you're all doing okay and also enjoying a little bit of the sunshine here in England. We've finally got a little bit of sunshine and it's been really, really lovely to sit out the garden and enjoy that. Now back to the nails, I have nearly placed down all of the glitter pips. I did just want to come in with 2 more at the very tip of the nail. And again, these 2 overlapped the edge of the nail ever so slightly. So I did, oh, I don't know if these 2 did actually, but if they did, I would have just filed off the excess before encapsulating. So moving on to the little finger, I really loved that pastel blue acrylic. I believe it's called Forget Me Not. So I decided I would do a full nail of this on the baby finger, and then I'd pop some crystals over the top, just because I had these opal crystals and I felt as though they would tie in quite nicely in this set, especially against this pretty blue background. So as you can see, I'm working my way up the nail using small beads of acrylic. I've started at the tip end this time. So I place my bead down, blending it out, trying to keep everything as thin and as smooth as possible because I don't want to build up any strength with this colour. When it comes to applying that cuticle bead, I always tilt the finger downwards and tap the acrylic up towards the cuticle. This gives you a little bit more control over the product and stops it running back and flooding those cuticles. And then once I am happy with the coverage, I do think I come in with another bead here actually, just to put another wash of colour down where it looked a little bit patchy. But once I am happy with the coverage, I leave all the coloured acrylic to set, and I'm then going to come in and encapsulate. I do believe I show you encapsulating on 1 or 2 of the nails today. I recorded this around a week, maybe even 2 weeks ago, and I just haven't had a chance to get it voiced over. I had a couple of videos sitting on my camera that I hadn't got around to editing and voicing over, and I'm slowly working my way through them. So now we're going to move on to encapsulating. So I've run my wet brush over the entire nail. This is just to make sure that there's nothing laying on the surface of the nail, like any dust or anything. It also helps our clear layer flow nicely down the nail. Then when I'm encapsulating, I do like to work slightly wetter so that I don't have to pat and press the acrylic very much. So I've placed that bead of acrylic down, and I'm kind of just walking and guiding it down towards the very free edge of the nail, trying to keep everything as smooth and as even as possible. You don't want to build up too much thickness or too much bulkiness. You just want to make sure that all of your glitter pieces are encapsulated and you've built up your strength and your apex. So here I'm coming in with my apex bead. So I placed that bead of acrylic down. I didn't need to add too much down at the apex area, as I had built a lot of it up with the Crown Peach, which is a core powder. So I've just popped a thin layer down just to finish off that nail. I then did the same on all of the other nails and went off camera and filed and buffed them. So this is what the nails looked like after I'd done all of that. And then, like I said, we're going to apply some crystals to the little finger. So I'm coming in today to apply my crystals with a jewellery gel. I will see if I can find a link for this particular one. It was just one that I got from AliExpress a very long time ago, but the little pot has lasted me ages and it works really well, to be honest. So I've popped a layer of that down. There are several different ways you can work with it. I work with it differently depending on how I'm feeling on the day. But today I've just popped a layer of it down. As you can see, it's still wet. And I'm then placing my crystals down into that wet layer of jewellery gel. Now I love the jewellery gel for doing crystal placements where I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing and I'm kind of just going with the flow and making it up as I go along, because it means that the crystals are not going to set in place. So you can play around with the design or the placement as much as you like, and those crystals are not going to dry like they would with a glue. I also love it as well because if you do make any mistakes, you can just take those crystals off, or if you change your mind about something, you can just take them off and start again. So I'm just placing down my crystals. I'm using a mix of white opal crystals and AB crystals. The AB crystals are from the Crystal Studio, but I'm not 100% sure where the white opal ones are from. I'll see if I can have a look, and if there's a name on the pot, I will pop it in the description box below. But I like a lot of the, I don't really use too many Swarovski crystals because I find them a bit expensive just to use on my practice hand. So I use a lot of crystals from the Crystal Studio. She has an amazing selection. Like I said, these mixed ABs are from her and they are so shiny. And I do also get some crystals from Charlie's Nail Art as well. So once I've finished placing all of my crystals and I'm happy with how they're all placed, I'll pop this now in to cure for 60 seconds, and that will then cure those crystals into place, and we're then ready to move on to top coating. I was really pleased with how this crystal placement turned out. It's just a simple trail, but I loved the combination of the opal crystals over the blue background, and then the kind of cool color reflection from the AB crystals. I felt as though it just ended up with a really pretty vibe, and I kind of wish I'd done that now matte with the crystals over the top, but I decided I would go for all glossy in this set because I don't have the WowBao matte top coat, and I just had the glossy one on my desk anyway, so I thought I would just do them all glossy. But looking at the set now, I really wish I had done the baby finger matte with the crystals because I love crystals over a matte base. But as you can see, I'm just applying a thin coat of my glossy top coat to all of the nails. This is the WowBao Diamond Gloss top coat, and I really love this one because it has quite a thin consistency, but it gives off a really glass-like clear finish. It's such a lovely top coat to work with. Once I have finished applying this to all of the nails, I'll pop them in my LED lamp to cure for 60 seconds. Now, when it comes to top coating on the crystal nail, I take a little bit longer because I like to come around my crystals with the detail brush and my top coat, just so I can get really close to them without getting any top coat on the top of them. You don't want to get any top coat over the top of your crystals because it does ruin the effect. So I just take my brush or a detailer brush and go around them until the entire nail is covered, just being really careful not to get any of that top coat on them. And then again, I'll pop this in to cure for 60 seconds. And then once I have all cured, I have left a clip of the finished result at the end for you guys to check out. So let me know in the comments below whether you liked this set. Have you used these glitter pip things yourself? And if so, what do you think of them? I really hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you are watching my channel and you're not already subscribed, I would absolutely love it if you hit that subscription button. I've gained a few new followers recently, and I'm really thankful for all of you who watch my videos and like and comment and all that jazz. So once again, thank you all for watching. Take care and bye bye.